us with the CTV News Update. The snowy weather is bringing out the best in neighbors in Capitol Heights today. The mayor of Capitol Heights is one of those good neighbors. Mayor Sean Moulton rolled up his sleeves and got busy on behalf of senior citizens. He and a friend went door to door shoveling snow for elderly residents. Moulton says he did it in honor of his late grandmother, who would have turned 103 years old today.
You got the muscles, we got the energy, we got the strength. Let's just do something good, and I think that's what it's all about, right? Helping our community, doing the little small things that make a big difference when it's added up.
I'm very happy that they called and said they could come and do it. We have a lot of seniors in this community, and they all need help.
They plan to shovel at least 10 homes. The slippery roads caused several crashes last night and early this morning. Maryland State Police responded to 34 crashes and 23 unattended and disabled vehicles overnight. From 10 p.m. until 6 this morning, they responded to nearly 300 calls for service. Residents can visit md511.org for up-to-date road conditions. With Prince George's schools set to reopen in April, a local principal says she supports bringing kids back to the classroom. Heather Porterfield at Glendale Elementary says she understands the concerns about COVID-19. She also says some children are having challenges with virtual learning. However, if everyone follows safety protocols, she says staff and students can stay safe.
I do think, we need to do what's in best interest of the students. And, I do know that virtual learning hasn't been successful for all students. And if those are the individuals that need to take advantage of coming back to hybrid, I fully support it. I haven't been out of the school building all year, so I still report to the building. So I would love to see little faces and, the joy and sunshine that they bring on a daily basis.
Porterfield also says she is encouraging all of her staff to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Well, 6 Capitol Police officers have now been suspended while 29 others are under investigation following the January 6th insurrection. 2 officers were previously placed on suspension with pay following the deadly disturbance. Earlier this month, the Capitol Police Union voted no confidence in the agency's leadership. Members of the Maryland Legislative Black Caucus met virtually with State Police Colonel Jerry Jones to press him on allegations of discrimination within the agency. Earlier, State Senator Joanne Benson met with more than 20 black troopers who expressed their concerns regarding disciplinary hiring and promotion practices within the department. The Black Caucus is calling for an independent investigation.
You never could get a direct answer when you have police officers investigating police officers, because there's a bias there. So I think there needs to be an outside agency looking at what's going on. I think there needs to be an outside agency auditing the complaints that's going on there. I think there needs to be someone looking at their promotion or hierarchy within the department. So I think there's a whole host of things that needs to be addressed, and I'm hoping giving him 30 days to formulate a plan that we can feel good about.
The Prince George's County chapter of the NAACP is also calling for an investigation. Meantime, a partisan battle takes place in a Maryland Senate panel over major police reform legislation. Republicans are crying foul after their Democratic counterparts shot down their amendments to 2 separate bills. Tough comments came after hours of heated discussion about the measures, one of which would allow some officer personnel records to be publicly available. The other would repeal and replace the Law Enforcement Officers' Bill of Rights.
I'm discouraged about this whole process, but when we talk about stats and what people think of the police, I just wonder how many Marylanders would want legislators to be open to the same standards for public disclosure that we're now requiring our police officers. And I'd say it'd be 100%. They would all want us to be to the same standard that we're requiring our public safety officials to stand upon.
But people rising up after being abused, tortured, hyper-policed, mistreated for decades, people rising up certainly wasn't the impetus for massive flight from the Baltimore Police Department, I would posit that most likely the fact that it's been revealed to the world that this was a police department that had a pattern and practice of unconstitutional practices.
The measure, which would make some personnel records public by reforming the Maryland Public Information Act, eventually passed out of the committee. It was a 7-4 vote along party lines. In other news, business groups challenging the state's digital tax take their case to court. Tech companies like Facebook and Google will have their ads taxed by the state under a new law. Trade groups say the first in the nation digital tax is, quote, a punitive assault and should be struck down. The lawsuit was filed in U.S. District Court in Baltimore yesterday. While you're watching CTV News, I'm Keisha Betts. We'll be back in one moment.
You're looking at me in the future. Okay. Hi, Isaac.
Hi.
Wait a second.
Do you know who I am?
Julia.
This is Jaina. Into the future. I just wanted to talk to you about what happened with those two girls.
Oh, yeah?
Do you remember it was this girl that I was getting bullied by that one day at PE when they were like yelling at me, and then you just linked arms with me? I don't think you know how much like that helped me, because like I finally like knew that I had somebody. Because of you, Isaac, and what you did for me years ago, I grew up to be more independent and love myself and just be a little bit more confident.
Aw, I'm like a little tearing up right now. Just to see her in the future just blossom and look beautiful, and that was really amazing.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Welcome back. Here are the latest COVID-19 numbers for the state of Maryland. More than 1,000 people have tested positive for the coronavirus over the past 24 hours. The positivity rate remains relatively low at 4.12%. 16 deaths have been attributed to COVID-19 over the past 24 hours, and here in hardest-hit Prince George's, more than 71,000 people in all have tested positive for the virus. The University of Maryland is limiting student gatherings on campus, this following reports of a number of new COVID cases. Officials are restricting gatherings to no more than 5 people except for in-person classes. Also, students in areas with several positive cases have been asked to stay in their rooms. Maryland selects a developer for its Beltway expansion project. Trans-Suburban will lead the project to expand Interstate 270 and the American Legion Bridge. The $11 billion plan would replace the bridge and add toll lanes to portions of the Beltway and I-270. In other news, when Glendale students and staff head back to school, they'll notice some major changes. National nonprofit Heart of America, Prince George's County Council, and PGCTV teamed up to renovate Glendale's library and tech center. Glendale hosted an unveiling ceremony this week to display the upgrades. Some changes include new furniture, paint, and an upgraded ramp and railing.
So this space actually had not been renovated in quite a long time. It got brand new flooring, lots of bright colors, 300 plus new books, new chairs and tables that allow for multiple configurations, which is going to be perfect when you have to socially distance.
Knowing that every student, I think there's 550 students total, we're going through there. It was important to make sure that a place that every single one of them was touching when they were in school is a place that they can go through and be inspired.
Heart of America donated 600 take-home bags to Prince George's kids earlier this year. A new book series for young readers features female heroes in history. The best-selling series She Persisted was created by Chelsea Clinton and Jill Santopolo. One contributing author is former NBC and CNN foreign correspondent Atia Abawi, who also used to work here at CTV News. Her book features astronaut and physicist Sally Ride.
But Sally, she, yes, was the first female American to make it to space, but there's so much more to her story. And it really connects to the she persisted angle. She definitely persisted. She worked hard. And despite actually having somewhat of a privileged childhood in comparison to some of these other women who are profiled, she still had to work hard. She still didn't have the advantages that men had. In fact, when she was young, she even said she never even dreamt of being an astronaut because it wasn't an option for women and females back then. Sally dreamt of being a tennis player. She worked hard at it and she could have achieved it, but she realized she didn't love it as much as she thought she did. And then she decided to change her dream into focusing on science. And then that dream led to one day opening up a newspaper and seeing that NASA was looking for female astronauts. And that's something she applied to. And out of the thousands of candidates, she was one of the 6 that were chosen that were female.
Bowie's new book about Sally Ride will be released on March 2nd at area and online bookstores. NASA's Perseverance rover reaches Mars after a thrilling 7-minute plunge through the atmosphere to land on the red planet. The mission will look for evidence of past life in the remnants of an ancient lake. Flight engineers at California's Jet Propulsion Laboratory burst into cheers and applause in the joy of the moment.
Touchdown confirmed. Perseverance safely on the surface of Mars, ready to begin seeking the signs of past life.
Along for the ride on the rover was the first helicopter to land on Mars. Ingenuity, which weighs just under 4 pounds, will make the first powered flight on another planet. The Washington Wizards star player will represent the franchise as the starter of the 2021 NBA All-Star Game. Bradley Beal will make his first appearance as a starter at the showcase. Last year, he was not selected. He was put on as a reserve in 2018 and 2019. The 27-year-old guard joins the front court with Seat Pleasant native Kevin Durant. Beal says he's grateful that fans voted for him.
For me, realizing that, they picked the 24 best guys in the league, and there's so many guys who are deserving to be here, who are deserving to play in the game, and there's guys who are more than deserving to start. So I never take that for granted.
The All-Star Game is set to kick off on March 7th in Atlanta. Let's get a quick check on our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 23. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 31 and a low around 18. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 37 and a low around 28 degrees. Monday, snow showers are likely in the morning. Daytime temps reach a high near 44 and a low around 32. And now for the community calendar. The Prince George's Police Department will be distributing fresh produce and food to residents tomorrow. Recipients can drive up and collect their package at the Wayne K. Curry Administration Building from 10 a.m. until noon. Representatives will be giving out more than 40,000 pounds of food until supplies are gone. This event is first come, first serve. No registration is needed. For more information, visit their Twitter page at PGPD News. And that wraps up our CTV News update. I'm Keisha Butts. Have a good night and a good weekend.
For the latest information on COVID-19 in Maryland, visit the State Health Department website. That's health.maryland.gov. Again, health.maryland.gov. Click the link to the COVID-19 information portal. There you'll find all the latest information about coronavirus. You'll find daily updates on cases and fatalities. Answers to questions about testing and the governor's stay-at-home order are available as well. For specific information about Prince George's, visit princegeorgescountymd.gov. That's princegeorgescountymd.gov. The site offers information about local services for residents and businesses. There's a link for COVID-19 relief donations. Also, food pantry locations are listed. And if you have any questions, call the county COVID-19 hotline at 301-883-6627. That's 301-883-6627.